Hello, second and third graders. Welcome to your math for today. We are going to be doing a two-part lesson for this week that we'll work on today, Tuesday, and tomorrow, Wednesday. That'll kind of be your skill for the week. Now, this is something that we haven't talked about a ton this year. A couple of you I know have worked on this in some of your learning apps, but for the most part, this might be a little bit of a new concept. Now, this ties in with some of our data stuff we've done this year. Both second and third graders, we've done some things with bar graphs, maybe some picture graphs or some circle graphs. This is just another way if we have data that we can sort it out in a particular way. And this is something that you'll use as you get to the older grades, fourth and fifth grade, a lot more. Now, the four things that go in our set that we're going to work on today and tomorrow, we're going to do two today, two tomorrow, are something called mean, median, mode, and range. Now, a couple of those words maybe you have heard before, like mean. We're not talking about like being unkind to somebody. This is a different type of mean. And same thing with range. This might have a little bit to do with the range that you've heard of before, but it might be a little bit different too. So we are going to start with two, like I said again today. We are going to start with the median and the range. The median and the range. Those are going to be the two that we learn about today. Tomorrow we'll work on mode, and I'll show you a little bit about mean as well, and you might have some work to do with it, either on a form or on one of your learning sites. That I'll decide a little later. You can check the website for that. But to get started, what we need, and I'm just going to make one up for here. I'll do a little bit of writing on the back of my binder here, and then I'm going to show it to you, is we need a set of data, something that we collect. Now, if we were in class, we would do something like we would vote on, or we would check into something, but with us being in different spots, I'm just going to kind of make something up. And for the sake of this, we'll just use favorite numbers, 1 through 10. So even if your favorite number is 16, you have to choose a favorite number that falls between 1 and 10. So I'm just going to make up numbers for all you guys. I'll do 19 for all 19 kids that we have in class. Actually, I'll do 20 because I'll include one for me as well. And just so you know it's fair, my favorite number is 14, and that doesn't fall between 1 and 10. So I'm just going to pick one that falls in there. So one number, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Checking my work. I've got 12 so far. 15. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, here are my list of numbers. I'll let you take a look at that. You can see through my sloppy writing. We've got a 1, 2, 2, a 6, a 7, a 9, an 8, a 7, a 1, a 3, a 6, a 4, 8, an 8, a 3, a 9, an 8, a 4, a 5, and a 7. Those are our list of 20 numbers, one made up for each one of you in class. Now, we'll start by talking about the range, because the range is going to make the median really easy to do. So to find the range, what we have to do is we have to put these numbers in order. Now you can see from our list here, we've got multiple of almost every number, I think. I think there's a multiple of every number in there, and I didn't even use the number 10. So I'm going to put the numbers in order. So if there is, for example, I'm looking up here, I see 1, number 1, 2 number 1s. I'm going to check just to make sure. 1 is on there twice. That means I'll have to put it on my list 2 times. So 1, and then 1 again. And I'll put a comma between them to show that I'm doing them right. So that's what it'll look like so far. And I may even cross them then up off my list at the top to know they're accounted for. Then I'll find all my 2s. I see 1, 2, I see another 2. Check to see if I have any other 2s. Looks like 2 2s, so that's okay. The number 3, I see up there once, twice, so 3, 3. Hope I'm not missing any here. I want to be careful because it's hard to go back. This is what I got so far. 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s. Looking up there, I see 4 up there 2 more times. So 4 and 4. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. I see 5 up there only 1 time, so I'll put my 1 5 up there. 9, I'm almost halfway there. Making sure I leave enough space as well. And then I see a couple 6s at least, 6 and 6. Again, I'm being a little messy here. You guys are used to that. 6, 6. Now, at this point, I want to just make sure my numbers I have left match the number I need. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I got 9 numbers left. Okay, I'm on to 7s. I see 3 7s. 7, 7, 7. Okay, just to check in with me, that's what my list looks like so far. I'll cross out my 7s up top to know I've used them. I see 8 up there, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, so 8. 8, 8, and 8. Get rid of those 8s. And then 9, I see 2 times, so 9 and 9. Now I'm going to count. There's my list. I'll get it as close as I can. Make sure I have 20 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. All 20 are there, so I did a good job. Now my range. Now that I've got them ordered, with my lowest down here, 1, all the way up to my highest, 9 down here, range is really easy. The range is just start to finish. So my range is going to be 1 through 9. A range is just like something that you might put, you guys have done some charting of your reading in class. This would be like if I read from pages 1 to 9. This is the start, this side is the end. That's how big our number was. Now I put another range on our whole set of numbers. You could only choose numbers 1 and the highest could be 10. I didn't use 10, so our range shrunk a little bit to 1 through 9. Now this is a pretty small range because we're just learning. You might work with some bigger ranges. Ranges could be 10s, 20s, hundreds of numbers, even thousands of numbers. Now in this one, there's only 1 to 9. But that's our range. So that's the first thing we're looking with today. And that was really easy to do because we put our numbers in order. We could have looked at our data set up here and figured that out too, but a little bit more difficult when they're all out of order. Really easy when they're ordered from least to greatest down here. And that's going to help us with our next skill that we're talking about today. If you remember from earlier in the video, we're talking about median. Median means the middle number. So for me to do the middle number, since they're already in order, it's going to be really easy for us to find. But I can't just try and find the middle. I've got to kind of go back and forth because some sets of numbers have a true middle and some have kind of a grouping of 2 numbers in the middle. And I'll show you what that looks like. But here's what I have to do. Since they're already in order and they have to be to find the median, I'm going to start at the lowest. And I'll hold this a little bit far away and then I'll bring it close. I'm going to cross off the smallest and the biggest. Then the next smallest then the next biggest, next smallest, next biggest, next smallest, next biggest. So I'll show you what that looks like so far. I've got equal number crossed off the right side as the left side. Then I'll keep on going. Next smallest, next biggest, next smallest, next biggest, next smallest, next biggest, next smallest, next biggest, next smallest, next biggest. And what you will see now is the only two numbers left are the two sixes in the middle. Now I can't take away the next smallest and the next biggest because with only two left, there's not going to be a true middle. If I had the number set 1, 2, 3, I could cross out the smallest and the biggest, and my median would be 2. But since I have an even number with 20 numbers, there's actually going to be 2 in the middle. And luckily for us on this one, it doesn't always work this way, but our two numbers left in the middle, 6 and 6, are the same number. So our median, I'm going to write median here, is 6. Our range is 1 to 9. Range 1 to 9, median 6. And that tells us the middle of our chart. And that's your first two for the day. We'll look at this a little more. You'll have some work to practice on, but that's how you find it. The most important thing, this wasn't a really tough set of numbers, but it can become tough if you don't get them in that nice lowest to highest order. So make sure you do that when you go to practice. Put them in order, then find in that range, just taking the lowest number to the highest number, and the median is crossing out from each side until you land in the middle, which this case was 6. Go practice. Great job. I'll see you again tomorrow.